studio, offering you a fresh perspective, an unbiased perspective, different from those disconnected talking heads in the media. He's an author, a coach, a real estate and finance expert, and he's committed to teaching you how to win in any marketplace. Your host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, Brandon Rives.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media, providing you the timely truth centered around your real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, home remodeling, and so much more. Welcome back to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. I want to thank all of our guests last week who reached out and engaged us here with the Real Estate Quarterback Show. How can you reach out? Multiple ways. We've got a website, realestateradiotampa.com, or I want you to pull out your smartphone and save this number in your phone because at some point you're going to need it. Our consumer advocate hotline is 813-917-1894. Now you can call or text that number. Now, I don't care if you're climbing the corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck every day on your way to work. This show's for everyone. We want to entertain, engage, and inspire you to live a better life. And ultimately, we have a QAA formula here with this show. Now, as consumers, you're going to have questions. What we're going to do is we're going to provide you answers with our experts in studio, all-star lineup today. And ultimately, we want to give you these action items that you can do something about it. Now, what is it? Maybe you want to look at a refinance. Maybe you want to get out of a rental situation and get into home ownership. Potentially, you might want to reach out to one of our guest expert contributors in studio, Jason Avery Construction. We're going to talk about home remodeling today and some construction. We also have Starr in studio as well with 5-star staging and redesign. And we also have our expert as well, Jason Salmon, with the buying side of our Platinum MVP Realty and Crushcraft Marketing. So a lot of ways to engage. And I want to remind you, we have a relationship with Work Done Charities out there, helping single parents maintain and gain home ownership through Work Done Charities and Betty's Hope.
Work Done. Work spins to the 10. He's to the 5, 4, 2. Touchdown.
And our ultimate goal every week, we go to battle every day against the nonsense in the mainstream media. They want to sensationalize these different stories that you're seeing and kind of direct people in all these different areas. But ultimately, our goal is to help our consumers win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
So, Intelligent Talk Radio, I've got some intelligent folks in studio. First up today is going to be Jason Avery Construction. Welcome back in.
Man, it's great to be back here, Brandon. Thanks for having me.
That's right, absolutely. Oh, forgot to plug our sponsors. This segment is brought to you by Freedom Boat Club, the official recreation partner of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Say hello to Mike Craig down there in South Tampa. 13 locations throughout the Tampa Bay market, as well as nationwide in the United States. You know, what do they say? The best 2 days of a boater's life is when you sell it and when you buy it. So let's get you into that membership-based club, Freedom Boat Club. Great opportunity. One of my favorite things to do in life is go on the boat, build those memories with my friends and family, my girlfriend and my daughter. So we go out and enjoy a great time with Freedom Boat Club. And you show up, you bring your cooler. There's no cleanup afterwards. You tip the captain, and you move on with your day once you're done boating. And also, Hula Bay is our official restaurant partner. We're going to limo to lunch after this show here today. We're going to limo to lunch with Roberto, Tampa Limo and Car over to Hula Bay. It's our official restaurant partner of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. And so check them out down there as well. Go say hello to Mike Finnegan over at Hula Bay, just down south, just south of West Shore there on Gandy. Make a ride on Tyson. Hula Bay and Freedom Boat Club located right down there in beautiful South Tampa, Florida.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into this great content. Without further ado, Jason Avery, welcome back in.
Hey, it's great to be here. Yeah. So, you guys were asking me what could I offer in the way of consumer advocacy tips. So, one question I'm faced with quite often is, how much should I be spending in my kitchen remodel or in my bathroom remodel? People are concerned about spending too much and never seeing the return on their investment.
Right.
Quite frankly, if you spend too little, you may never see the return on your investment. The new purchaser coming in might look at it as if it still needs to be remodeled.
Yep.
So, a general rule of of thumb is about 20% of the value of the structure.
Okay.
So keeping in mind, waterfront properties, you might have a higher value based on value of property. But if you have a, $200,000 structure sitting on that, $40,000 would be a typical remodel situation. And that would include, cabinetry and granite and some new flooring and lighting and, all the fixing, a well-rounded remodel.
Yep.
If you were to spend less than that, then you're probably cutting yourself short. If you were to spend more than that, well, then, hey, splurge where you can, but you might not see the full return on your investment when it's time to exit that property later.
That's right. Also what I see sometimes, I just took a listing on a waterfront property, beautiful home, and you walk through the front door. What do you see? The first thing you walk in, what do you want to see? You want to see the water view. What do you typically see in a lot of these old school structures that didn't have the foresight to build in that waterfront view? You see a wall. That's when I pick up the phone. I call Jason Avery Construction.
Those are some of our favorites because they make the best before and after pictures.
Yeah.
We come into those homes, we knock down a wall, open up the view. Even if it's load bearing, there's often solutions for that. You can put in a beam with some columns and, open a span so that you can capture that view first thing and get the real money shot that you were buying into to begin with.
Yeah, and I also hear some feedback. Being in real estate, it's great. I'm a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay, 50 current listings. I go on a lot of listing appointments each week, and I get a lot of feedback from sellers. And number one feedback is, hey, my agent took my listing, I didn't hear back from them. That's number one. But then when we get into this conversation that's pertinent with Jason Avery here, is that, hey, I had a contractor, they came out, they took 2 or 3 days to give me a bid, and I hear this similar type of situation. Now, tell us how you're different in that situation.
I'll tell you, 2 or 3 days, you're doing good. And
right.
I hear the horror stories all the time where I've been chasing this guy down for 2 or 3 weeks, and I still can't get my number. And what we've found is that, half of the contractors out there just go out and try and ballpark it. They throw a range at it, 40 or 50,000, and then they don't back that up or support that with any, real detail. There's nothing you can do with that information yet. And then there's the other half of the contractors out there that try to get a little too specific, maybe a little too early in the process.
Right.
And the client's not ready for that because they don't know what the options are yet. They don't know how to decide which of the options they want because you haven't told them any pricing yet.
Right.
And because you haven't told them any pricing yet and they haven't made a decision, you can't really give them a solid bid yet. So what we do that's a little different is we actually have a same-day estimating policy where we just avoid the very specific details and rather talk about the broad range of options.
Right.
And we'll go through a worksheet that covers each of the trades that are involved, from electric to plumbing and HVAC, drywall and flooring and cabinets, and right down to even the little parts and pieces that they're going to furnish, like sinks and faucets and toilets. And we just put ranges on each item and say, here's the lower price if we leave it this way, and here's the higher price if we move it over there instead. And now, by the end of the worksheet, we gave the same type of range that the first contractor I mentioned did. It's 40 to 50,000, but we've delivered it in bite-sized pieces that the consumer can understand. We've sort of educated them in the process, so now they kind of know how the pricing is made up, and now they can start making some real concrete decisions that are going to steer them, in the direction they need to go based on the budget that they're going to allocate for that job.
And that's important.
Yeah, it makes the process more comfortable for them, and it gives them some instant gratification. That's why they brought you out, is to find out what could this cost. If weeks later they're still looking for a number, they don't feel like they're making any progress. So again, just being a little less specific up front, a little more broad range, we can start to narrow in a much more comfortable way. And then by the second time we meet them, they have some decisions made. We can start drawing them a pretty picture on the computer. They can start to visualize it. We can start to create an Excel spreadsheet that really breaks it down to the penny and gets to the level of detail that we need in order to contract the project.
Yeah, and I know you have an offer today as well. It's an in-home computer design. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, we use a state-of-the-art software called KCD, Kitchen Cabinet Designware, and we basically input all the wall measurements, windows, doors, and then actually start to draw and design what that kitchen or what that bathroom will look like after the project is complete. So we can actually show them full-color, three-dimensional images of the room. same kind of stuff like you see on HGTV these days, and people really appreciate that because not everybody has the foresight and the vision to be able to see what's going to happen. So, we'll offer for the first 2 people that call into you today, we'll go ahead and offer a free 3-dimensional computer design for them.
Okay. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, and I commend you for that as well, and being a leader in your space for what you're doing. I know you work with the Referral Institute, and you're going out and training business leaders here in the market as well. Let's go ahead and get that offer in. So for the first 2 listeners, we got to limit some of these offers we have. If you know the show, you know what we do. We're a consumer advocate. We have different types of offers: value, rent versus own, credit analysis. I want to thank you all for reaching out last week for the credit analysis, and William Crowley is going to be getting in touch with you as well. Follow up with that. Now, today's offer is an in-home computer design. Jason Avery Construction, for the first 2 listeners who text or call our consumer advocate hotline. That's 813-917-1894. Text or call now to 917-1894. So, when we come back, we're going to be talking about hedge fund billionaire Paul Tudor Jones is selling his Florida Keys mansion. Interesting story there. I bumped the butt. Sorry about that. So, hedge fund billionaire Paul Tudor Jones selling his Florida Keys mansion, and more from our experts in studio. You're going to be hearing from a very synergistic partner, expert contributor on the show, Starr with 5-star staging and design, as well as Jason Salmon, JS, coming in with some Ask the REQB questions here. So all centered around helping you improve your life and live a better life through the Real Estate Quarterback Show's consumer advocacy program here. So realestateradiotampa.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. I go to battle every day to combat the nonsense in the mainstream media, with my #1 goal being to entertain, educate, and engage our listeners to live a better life. I'm Tampa Bay's consumer advocate and also a top listing agent with over 50 current listings, recently featured in Florida Realtor Magazine for the 2nd time in the last 2 years, recognized for my innovation with marketing. So we want you to reach out. We want to engage. We want to help you live a better life. So fill out the form below and engage us. And my promise to you is that we're going to get back to you in a timely manner, and we're going to provide you non-commission based advice and connect you with one of our partners that can help you whichever area that you may be interested in.
Rhymes here, host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. This segment's brought to you by the Maids Cleaning Service. Do a great job around here in Tampa Bay, highly respected in the community. The Maids Cleaning Service. Say hello to Dominique over with the Maids. And before we jump back into this great content, some intelligent talk radio with some intelligent folks in studio here, I want to touch on a couple of hot listings that we have. We've got 5506 Beeman Dew Loop in Land Lakes. Now, this is a 4-bedroom, 5 and 1/2 bath property. $1.275 million is the price point for this home. It's custom-built, high-end home situated on gorgeous Lake Thomas in a private gated community. Owners are motivated here, and you got a boat dock on the back and access to a ski lake. Beautiful property. Gated community, and that's 5506 Beeman Dew Loop. We also have 219 18th Avenue in Indian Rocks Beach. Now, this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, multiple-story townhome, and it's bring your boat to this boater's paradise. It's a beautiful property with the ability to moor up to a 65-foot vessel here at 219 18th Avenue, Indian Rocks Beach. And Indian Rocks Beach, and you literally walk 2 minutes and you're across Gulf Boulevard and you're on the beach. So beautiful property here. I love the beach area over there. And I also have a 27-acre ranch. I just had the opportunity yesterday, actually rode horses with a potential buyer across this looking at the 27 acres. So went out a nice little horseback ride and brought my daughter back after school and went on a horseback ride with her as well. So 2 in one day. I haven't been in years, but I went horseback riding twice in one day. But beautiful ranch. I mean, 10 acres of this ranch is listed at $49,900 per acre for the first 10 acres. So great opportunity. Reach out. Now, multiple ways, again, to reach out to the show. We've got our Consumer Advocate Hotline. It's 813-917-1894. Now, if you're watching our TV show, and you can watch the show by going to realestateradiotampa.com, click on the the 5th link over. It says live stream, and you can watch our show in person. You'll see all the numbers. John Gasson with Tampa Bay Multimedia does an awesome job putting those there as well. So let's jump back into this great content here. We just heard from Jason Avery Construction. Now, I want to welcome in Starr Armstrong with 5-Star Staging and Redesign. Welcome into the Real Estate Quarterback Show.
Thank you, Brandon. It's good to be here. Appreciate the invitation.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's jump right into it. Tell us a bit more about your company.
Okay. Well, my company, 5-Star Staging and Redesign, specializes in vacant and occupied home staging, as well as I have another side of my business, which is the redesign side, which is sometimes known as one-day makeovers.
Very cool. Yeah, very cool. So, as a real estate agent, this is definitely something that we like to talk about because we see some of these homes. We walk in, it's got the old school furnishings, the valances over the windows. I mean, and so for a new buyer coming through, it's important to have your home staged properly.
That's so true, Brandon. Many times people think, well, I have a nice home. It's remodeled nicely. There's nothing that needs to be done. Why do I need to stage my home? And the answer is you should stage your home because you don't know, even if your home sells fast, you don't know if you're going to leave money sitting on the table.
Right.
And real estate professionals have known for a long time that emotions sell homes.
That's right.
Basically, you fall in love with a home. Can't tell you how many times that is. Staging is really a magic tool, and it is magic. I'm amazed so many times myself how I can walk into a home and I can think, oh my gosh, what am I going to be able to do with this home? It's really very dated, and the furnishings are not right, and the accessories are not right, and I'm thinking, what can I do? And then when it's all said and done, and we finish the staging process, I'm amazed. The transformation is amazing, and the homeowners are very excited about it. So it makes a lot of difference. It is a magic marketing tool, and everybody should take advantage of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Starr Armstrong, 5-Star Staging and Redesign. Now, can you kind of paint that picture for the drivers out there, the people that might be driving or listening on their iPhones? Let's paint a picture for them. Maybe give us a success story.
Well, I was just thinking back to a home that I did early on in my business, and it was like that. It was a nice home. The floor plan was great in a gated community. So location is great, but it's a very dated home.
Right.
It has not had any updates to the bathrooms or the kitchens. No granite.
Yep.
No, nice tile in the bathroom. So I I did that. I walked in and I'm thinking, and there's a lot of a hodgepodge. It was not really this particular homeowner's main home. It was kind of like his crash pad because he worked here. And so we were able to go in, declutter some things, change some things around, use some of their artwork, purchase some more accessories, investment pieces for them, and we transformed the home. Now we brought in some remodeling, like we needed to paint, we needed to have the carpet cleaned, the windows cleaned, and things like that. So a few things here and there, but the transformation was amazing. The homeowner was so surprised. The realtor was blown away.
Awesome.
And the home, within it going on the market and being staged, the home had multiple offers in 7 days.
Nice.
And for asking price and above.
Wow. Good story. Great story. Yeah. And it's the little things that you can do. Sometimes, little paint, little cleaning, making sure it's proper. Make sure you got the air freshener smell in the house, and because it's all the different emotions that sell a home.
Right. It is. And it's coming up with a cohesive design, because really staging there is a methodology to it.
Yep.
It's consistent. We do need a knowledge of real estate. We need to know about redesign or remodeling techniques and things like that, and then using the design knowledge of color and art and accessories and how you use those to bring together a great design.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the overlap here between you and Jason Avery Construction, and you look at a property. I walk in and I have the same thoughts in my mind. I'm like, oh wow, what would I do here? I need to get Jason involved, I need to get Starr involved. So as a real estate agent, I also have a certified negotiation expert certification as well. So we talk about what can we do to improve our position. It's all about strategically improving the position of the seller. So ultimately, it starts from the driveway walk in. There's little things that we can do. Clean out the cobwebs outside, plant a couple of perennial flowers, make sure we remulch, and then you walk into the property, and then that's where we would turn it over to someone like you to paint that picture for us, because I'm just a guy. I don't you're
yeah, you're a guy.
You've got the magic touch.
That's right. It's a magic touch and a magic tool, staging.
That's right. So I want you to think of this show as the hub of your financial wheel, and each spoke extending out is going to represent another one of our preferred partners. We've got over 45 show partners now, ranging from CPAs, financial advisors, 3 or 4 different types of attorneys, home services, solar technologies, new homes, all types of partners that can help you benefit as a homeowner, as a potential homeowner. If you're renting out there and you're on the fence, my God, man, we've got to get you off the fence. We got to get you into home ownership. Now, if you want to text the word rent, what we're going to do, we're going to put together a rent versus own analysis for the first 3 listeners who text the word rent. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to put together a spreadsheet that's going to break down the amount of rent money that you're throwing away to paying your landlord's mortgage into your potential legacy of your home, paying down your mortgage, taking advantage of the tax write-offs, living in a house that you have pride of ownership in. So text the word rent and the amount you're paying in rent to 813-917-1894. Mark and Tony over at Integrity Financial Services will put together a rent versus own analysis for you. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about hedge fund billionaire Paul Tudor Jones selling his Florida Keys mansion. We'll let you know the price tag of that and more from our experts in studio. RealEstateRadioTampa.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. I go to battle every day to combat the nonsense in the mainstream media, with my #1 goal being to entertain, educate, and engage our listeners to live a better life. I'm Tampa Bay's consumer advocate and also a top listing agent with over 50 current listings, recently featured in Florida Realtor Magazine for the 2nd time in the last 2 years, recognized for my innovation with marketing. So we want you to reach out, we want to engage, we want to help you live a better life. So fill out the form below and engage us. And my promise to you is that we're going to get back to you in a timely manner, and we're going to provide you non-commission based advice and connect you with one of our partners that can help you whichever area that you may be interested in.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. I'm a top listing agent in Tampa Bay with over 50 current listings. Recently featured in Florida Realtor Magazine for the second time in the last 2 years, recognized for my innovation with marketing, search engine optimization, YouTube video marketing, helping my sellers maximize the profits on the sale of their home. And this segment is brought to you by Dr. Doug Arvanitis, chiropractor right on Dale Mabry here in South Tampa. Pro Health, he's the pros doctor, and helps me with some of the old football ailments from, too many of those head hit collisions, coming up and closing down that running lane. So, all right, and before we jump back in this great content, I want to touch on a couple of hot listings that we have here. We've got 521 Remini Vista Way in Sun City Center. This is a $500,000 property, 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, and a beautiful community here in Sun City Center. And it's the lifestyle that you can live at this beautiful property. It's right on a golf course, one of the most upgraded lots, and the community center is just gorgeous. It's got workout rooms, sauna, steam, everything you would expect in their country club. Just a beautiful property there in Sun City Center. And we also have you ever wanted to own your own hotel? Well, I've got an opportunity for you here at 636 Corey Avenue, St. Pete Beach, Florida. And it's a rare opportunity to own an income-generating property within steps of St. Pete Beach, one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. St. Pete, Clearwater, hard to beat, in this area that we live in. So 636 Corey Avenue, priced right at $640,000 for that property. And we also have a nice single-family home at 4704 Ashton Court in Tampa. Beautiful Carrollwood property listed right at $230,000. And it's the pride of ownership definitely comes through in this home. Very clean, beautiful Carrollwood home here at 4704 Ashton Court. Now, a couple ways you can see my listings. Really cool. If you're watching our TV show, you'll see the numbers coming across the bottom here. But if you're a listener, it's really easy if you think about it. What you want to do is text REQB, like Real Estate Quarterback. Text REQB, put that in the content of the message. Now, in the to line where you typically put the phone number, text that to 72889. Text REQB to 72889, and you'll see my Savvy card. It's going to come right up on your smartphone. You'll see all of my properties, links to all of my preferred partners, all my professional partners, expert contributors on the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Also, a plethora of resources at our Facebook page /Real Estate Quarterback Show. So, again, this show is different. We want to give you that helicopter view of the market. It's Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks in studio. In this segment, we're going to go ahead and jump into Jason Salmon, or JS here, is going to ask us some REQB questions from our social media.
Yes, we're back with another segment of Ask the Real Estate Quarterback, brought to you by Platinum MVP Realty. And I really think these questions are really going to fit with our two show partners here. So our first question is coming from Abe via Facebook, and Abe wants to know is staging my home important in order to get it sold? If so, why? And what are some of the costs associated with that?
Okay, that's a great question, Abe. And the answer to your question, should I stage my home, or is it important? Yes, very much so. It's very important. When a homeowner decides to put their home on the market, that home becomes a product then. And so, as I said before in the last segment, you're going to be using staging as a very proven marketing tool.
Right.
So you're going to start working with a real estate agent if you're a potential home buyer, and the agent is going to find out what's your criteria. How many bedrooms do you want? You want open living? Do you want a living room, dining room, 3 baths, pool?
Split floor plan.
Right, exactly. Yep. So you're going to determine those things, and then it's going to be pretty easy to find out to meet properties that are going to fit that criteria.
Right.
So how do you, as a home seller, get them to want to buy your home? Mm-hmm. It's about that emotion, and staging creates those emotional connections.
Right.
You want to be able to walk into that home and realize that I want to live here. Mm-hmm. I can move up to this standard of living.
Yep.
I want to sit down and I want to have a glass of wine and look out that window at that view. I want to cook dinner for my family in this kitchen. It's all about creating that emotional connection. Now, to answer your other question, Abe's other question about the costs vary tremendously. I have staged a small home occupied with furniture for as little as $300 to $400. That's a relatively small investment.
Sure.
And then a good rule of thumb for vacant homes, when you need to put furniture, art, accessories, all of the tchotchkes, everything in there, it's going to be anywhere from 1% to 3% of the asking price of the home. So obviously, if it's a larger home, if it's a higher end home, it's going to be more on the scale of that 3%.
Right.
Because you're going to need higher end furnishings and art and accessories and such, and more of it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a rule of thumb.
Yeah, you're right on point there. It's very important as you know, when you walk into that home, you want to have that natural light coming in. You want to smell favorable fragrances. You know, let's go ahead and jump into your offer. I know you have an offer for our listening audience today.
I do. I'm happy to do that. You know, the other side of my business is redesign.
Right.
And so redesign is really finding out what the homeowner who wants to live in their home, how do they want to live in that home? What do they want it to look like? They have a dream of what that perfect home is, but they don't necessarily know how to bring that about. So what I'm offering today is a 1-hour consultation. And that consultation can be color consultation. You want to pick out some paint colors. You want some sourcing help with furnishings and accessories, furniture arrangement, hanging artwork. You just purchased your home and you need some help just getting it all put together.
Sure.
I can come in and do that. That can all be part of that 1-hour consultation. Or we may determine that you need some remodeling done. And so we can say, I know a great remodeling company and I can bring those people in and, we can talk about that and just bring Jason in.
Absolutely. Save some money with the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Absolutely. So for the first two listeners, what we're going to do, we're going to offer here is text the word staging or home redesign to our consumer advocate hotline. It's 813-917-1894. We want you to save that number. Okay, text staging or redesign for the first two listeners to 813-917-1894. That's our consumer advocate hotline. So yeah, some great points there, Starr, with the homes, the staging, and then we talk about the construction side with Jason Avery and the remodeling and construction. So Jason, let's go to our second question from the Ask the REQB show. And if you're online on any of our social media, we want to engage you out there using hashtag AskTheREQB.
Yeah, and our second question today is actually coming from email. It's coming from Edward, and Edward is asking, should I renovate my dated home first before putting it on the market or just sell it as is? Brandon, what do you think about that?
Okay, so renovations, you got to look at your budget. This is one of the things I talk about in real estate when I'm going on a listing appointment. A lot of times they want to get my professional opinion on a property. I've been doing real estate for 15 years now, and so I have a good feel for the market and the marketplace, kind of giving that helicopter view of the marketplace. So when it comes to the home staging and the remodeling side, you got to depend on your budget. There's a lot of variables here, but ultimately what I would say is, yes, if you have extra money laying around, yeah, let's go ahead and shift a couple things, move a couple things around, maybe remove that wall, open up the bedrooms. You see that with 1980 style housing, that it has that extra door or that extra wall and where it shouldn't be. So let's open up these properties. I think today's buyer wants to see a home that's upgraded, open floor plans, split floor plans, and then you have sometimes those homeowners that are closing in their garage. Do you close in the garage or do you not? Because then some homeowners are going to park their car in the garage, but you're adding under air square footage, which you have to get permitted properly and all that fun stuff. Maybe Jason can elaborate, but so yeah, that would be my. Just depends on the budget. Depends on what the property, what the comparables of the property are when you're talking about the community. And so let's get Jason's opinion on that as well.
I've always been of the opinion that, a fresh coat of paint is going to help sell a home, but to invest too much into a remodel just prior to selling, I don't think works out great. And I think if it was the other side of the transaction, if I'm the person buying the home, I think that's the absolute best time to do the remodeling before you've even moved in. You don't have to live through that very uncomfortable, dusty experience.
Exactly.
And so get that home the way you want it to be and enjoy enjoy your next, 5, 10 plus years there. But to the person who's on their way out, and gosh, it's the worst time to remodel because you're never going to want to put into it what it takes, again, to really get the return on investment as I started this conversation. Yeah. So in my professional opinion, I would say if you're selling, you want to hire a person like Starr Armstrong to come in and do the staging and, again, put I hate to say the lipstick on a pig, but that's an old expression. Make it shine the penny a little bit, but save the remodeling for the new purchaser. Right. And those people purchasing the waterfront property, a 70s, 80s, 90s home, they bought it mainly for the property. Those are the ones that we're going to come in and knock down those walls and redo the floors and the cabinets and all that. Yeah, a couple things, because you might make these changes that the owner might have liked, and then you might pick the wrong color of granite. You go with the darker, they wanted the lighter. And I can give you a backup strategy, too. Again, 3-dimensional computer designs. And you don't have to do the remodeling. Get a guy like me to come in and create the design and the image of what it could look like and sell the vision. Exactly. And I propose that to realtors all the time. You know, I've done that with you a few times, Brandon, where you've got that ugly kitchen scenario. Well, what happens once we've improved it? Let's put it on a piece of paper so that the potential purchaser can see it and say, here's what it'll be, and here's the range it'll take to get it there. Yeah, and the other side of that coin, too, as a realtor, is as the days on the market keep adding up. Once you get to 120 days, 200 days on the market, Jason, as an expert buyer agent, I'm sure you see that when you're looking at, you're taking out your client, you're advising them, hey, this property's been on the market 200 plus days. We might be able to negotiate more here. So then there's that fine balance there also of, again, it boils back to the money, to the budget. What kind of money? If they got extra couple $100,000 sitting around, then they might want to do the renovations. But if they're on a little bit more of a slim budget, they might want to reach out to Starr Armstrong and do the staging and kind of that type of lip on a what did we say there, Jason? Lipstick on a pig.
Exactly. So we use that term a lot.
Okay. Yeah. So great conversations here as always on the Real Estate Quarterback Show. We got a real estate roundtable discussion, and ultimately the goal is to help you live a better life. No matter if you're got $100,000 to invest, you're $100,000 in debt, we've got all the best experts that are going to help you maximize your dollar and ultimately provide you the timely truth centered around your real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, and so much more. We want to engage you. We want to entertain, inspire, educate, but most importantly, we want to engage and have you reach out. So we want you to check us out at realestateradiotampa.com or our consumer advocate hotline at 813-917-1894.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. I go to battle every day to combat the nonsense in the mainstream media, with my number one goal being to entertain, educate, and engage our listeners to live a better life. I'm Tampa Bay's consumer advocate and also a top listing agent with over 50 current listings, recently featured in Florida Realtor Magazine for the second time in the last 2 years, recognized for my innovation with marketing. So we want you to reach out. We want to engage. We want to help you live a better life. So fill out the form below and engage us. And my promise to you is that we're going to get back to you in a timely manner, and we're going to provide you non-commission based advice and connect you with one of our partners that can help you whichever area that you may be interested in.
All right, thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. This segment is brought to you by Smart Move Moving and Storage, another one of our partners that we have, Pinellas Realtor Organization partner as well. Smart Move Moving and Storage for all your moving needs. Touch on a couple of hot listings here. We've got 3231 Pineview Drive in Holiday. This is $475,000 in the Bailey's Bluff Estates. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, beautiful property, open floor plan at this property at 3231 Pineview Drive in Holiday. We've got a vacant lot here, one of the last remaining lots. I think it is the last remaining lot in Seaside Point, Crystal Beach. Great opportunity to build on a beautiful home surrounded by very nice, large, multi-million-dollar homes. List price is $525,000 on the high. We did range pricing on this one. $475,000 is the low. So we got range pricing. Ask your realtor or contact us if you're not sure what range pricing means. And have you ever wanted to own your own business? I've got a gas station here at 1937 U.S. Highway 19 in Holiday. It's a BP gas station that's operating and is a great opportunity. So for this or any of your other real estate related questions, comments related to our show, visit realestateradiotampa.com or 813-917-1894. And so let's jump back into this great content. Got a great real estate roundtable discussion going. Jason Avery Construction, Starr Armstrong, 5-star staging and redesign, and Jason Salmon, he's our expert buyer agent representative and also VP of marketing with Crushcraft Marketing, our marketing arm of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Let's do the next question there, Jay.
Yeah, actually, well, not so much a question, just kind of a comment on everything that we just spoke about. In real estate, I think what's really important is that you have to set yourself apart. There's tons of 3-2s, 4-2s, that all look very similar out there. So how do you set yourself apart? How do you paint that picture, kind of as Starr was saying? And so I think, with the staging that Starr does and some of that computer design, that pre-design stuff that Jason does, you could set yourself apart from any other seller out there. And that's really just going to save you dollars in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you want to call an audible to what everybody else is doing. So let's go ahead and let's let Starr elaborate, because there's a cost associated with everything, decisions and non-decisions.
Sure. So absolutely, Brandon. It is very much an investment to stage a home. And sometimes when you're doing that, you want to get every bit of money that you can out of your home. But the cost of not staging a home, there's a pretty simple calculation to determine what it would cost to not stage your home. And it's based on, okay, what's your monthly cost? Say you've got a $200,000 home and your mortgage is $1,500 a month. Yep. And so those additional carrying costs, HOA fees, utilities and such, add $200 to that. So your cost per month is $1,700 a month. You want to get that down to a daily cost and consider how many days a non-staged home typically stays on the market. According to the Real Estate Staging Association, it's 270 days on average that a non-staged home stays on the market. So if you take that $57, that's a daily cost, $57 a day times 270 days on the market, it comes to about $15,390. Okay, that's cost of not staging your home. But wait, there's another thing.
There's more.
So it stays every month that it stays on the market. That's $1,000 reduction.
Yep.
Basically, or a 1% reduction.
Exactly. Yep.
So that's $2,000 a month times 9 months, $18,000. So to not stage your home, $33,390. Versus you do that same calculation. If you're going to stage your home, the average days on the market for a staged home, and this is much less sometimes, but 60 days on the market, so 57 times 60, 3,420, and then take that $2,000 per month for the 2 months, 7,420 plus a staging fee of $2,000. So you've got $9,420 to stage your home to get it sold versus $33,000 plus.
Wow.
Yeah.
The math makes sense, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's going to add up, and it's going to ultimately, what we want to do is engage you and provide you this guidance, because, as a homeowner, you're good at being a doctor, an attorney, an engineer, maybe you're working at the post office. You're good at what you do. We want you to allow us to be good at what we do and guide you in those areas that are going to help you. Again, our number one goal is to help our consumers win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
So we are now entering the lightning round. Consumer advocate tips, things to do, things to avoid, helping our listeners live a better life. Jason Avery, you're up first.
Well, just be aware that kitchen remodels, bathroom remodels do require permits. And Hillsborough County has a task force out there right now busting unlicensed contractors left and right because they're creating havoc for everybody.
Yep.
You have electrical receptacles put in by an unlicensed contractor, and then the house burns down.
Yeah.
Your insurance company can very well deny the claim.
Yeah.
So, big repercussions, by not doing things by the book. Definitely, if you're moving plumbing or electric in any way in a kitchen or in a bathroom, you definitely should have a licensed contractor working with a permit, and that should be inspected.
And here's a tip. It's not calling on these bandit signs and stuff you see. Yeah, you might save a couple pennies here and there. But if you ask them, are they licensed, bonded, and insured, and they don't have a good answer, what you're going to say is...
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
That actually rolled into one of my other tips, Brandon, was all about the insurance, too. There are lots of contractors out there where the owner-operator will hire in additional... he'll call them employees, but in reality, he's paying them as if they're an independent contractor.
Right.
Well, you have to be aware that those people are typically in that scenario because he's trying to work under the radar of work comp.
Right.
And that becomes another major issue. What happens when the worker, accidentally cuts off a finger with his chop saw and now is ready to sue somebody? And he's getting advised by a lawyer that there's deep pockets all around him, from the contractor to the homeowner to the homeowner's insurance company.
Yep.
And everybody's getting sued. So make sure that your contractor is working with actual employees. They can furnish you with a list from the payroll company of those people who are included on the work comp plan.
Right. Jason Avery Construction, great points.
Blue, you're my boy!
All right, next up, we got Starr Armstrong, consumer advocate tips, please.
Okay, some really simple things to do when you consider selling your home or putting it on the market. You want to get rid of the clutter, declutter. Yep. 3 bins: donate, keep, trash.
Right.
And use that system. It's a simple system. I'm sure everybody's heard it before, but it bears repeating. Pack away those things that you don't need now. If you haven't used that pressure cooker in about 15 years, then you might consider giving it away. And then consider those small repairs, paint, touch-up paint, and things like that. Make sure everything is pristine, clean, and kind of do away with any of the objections beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
And now I know for sure I just added 2 more guys to my wolf pack.
And gals, too. Jason Salmon, you're up next.
Yeah, so my tip today is going to come from Crushcraft Marketing, and it's for all the small businesses out there. And really, it's just to get on social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. If you're not on there, you don't exist. So get on there and make sure you're updating your content constantly, and I think you'll really see a return from the clients you'll get from that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a social world out there that we live in, and there's a lot of free resources as well on YouTube. I love to watch Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a leader in that space with a multi-million-dollar business now. Gary Vaynerchuk. I've had the great fortune to go to Business Mastery with Anthony Robbins over in Namale, Fiji, and expand my business knowledge and my marketing knowledge. So, constantly sharpen the saw, like Covey says, right? That's his 7th habit. You always want to sharpen that saw. What's the story? The guy, there are 2 guys are cutting the wood, right? And the one guy says, "Why don't you take a break and get some water, sharpen the saw?" And he goes, "No, I got work to do. The other guy comes back and cuts down that tree twice as fast because he sharpened his saw. So, we can relate that to our businesses as well. So, it's another great show. I want to thank all of our listeners out there as well, all the way down at our Fort Myers, Naples market over in LaBelle, the small town where I'm from out east. So, of course, Tampa Bay, St. Pete, Clearwater, Bradenton, Sarasota, and the Real Estate Quarterback Show. All of our experts in studio, all the team behind us, helping us make us look good here with the intern team, our production team. Wes, shouts out to Wes Sear right there, best in class SEO. Anna Van Landingham's raising her hand over there as well. And so great show today. Again, I appreciate everyone coming in. Appreciate all those listeners, and we want to engage you. So if any of this advice, maybe not for you, maybe it's for a family member. So relay this message. You can check us out on our podcast as well on iTunes, and another great show. So welcome back next week here, realestateradiotampa.com.